Test. Hello and welcome to Kel Kel Radio. We're going to be testing this out on YouTube and then in a couple of weeks' time on Twitch, and we're going to see how well those do. And if it does well, we're going to try and make this a proper thing. But as of for now, we are going to be doing this live on YouTube, and then we'll be releasing a date for when we'll be doing it on Twitch. Anyways, welcome to Kel Kel Radio. We've had some pretty magnificent news recently regarding the fact of Prince Harry and Prince William and the new book that Prince Harry will be releasing on the 10th of January. And it's titled called Spare, and it's been on everybody's tongues recently because it was leaked in Barcelona in Spain, and everything's all in Spanish, and it's very interesting because there's been stuff on this book which has pretty shocked everybody. For example, he calls William his arch nemesis. He claims he killed 25 Taliban members. He also says his brother attacked him. And so we're going to be talking through this, plus even more today on Kel Kel Radio. So first and foremost, we've got a couple of sources here. But my main source will be using the Times Radio, as they've acquired some stuff about the book Spare. So the organisation claims that William pushed Harry to the ground in a row at Nottingham Cottage in the grounds of Kensington Palace after calling Meghan difficult, rude, and abrasive. So, and apparently he fell on a dog bowl and didn't break his back, but pieces of the glass went into his back with a couple of cuts and scars apparently. And then he also, at the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral, Charles told his sons, "Please, boys, don't make my final years in misery." Meaning, if anything does happen, not to make a big deal out of it on his final years, which, is quite a big thing to say to your own sons. When Harry was born, Prince Charles supposedly told Diana, Princess of Wales, that now she had given him an heir and a spare, his work was done. William pointed a finger at Meghan during a row after she told Kate, who had recently given birth, that she must have a baby brain. So, those are pretty big, speculations. And the list does go on when, having these applications. It goes even further. Harry says he took cocaine when he was 17 on other occasions, but did not make him feel happy. It's those kind of small things which make you think, well, if it didn't make you happy, why did you think of doing it? It makes absolutely no sense. He lost his virginity aged 17 to an older woman in a field behind a pub. So he took drugs, and he lost his virginity, both at 17. You can tell he was trying things out. But do you think, he had guards around him? Why did he think this was okay? Losing his virginity aged 17 to an older woman in a field behind a pub. And in the book, he says it was a very busy pub. What was he thinking? Apparently, the brothers also called each other Willie and Harold. So, it's like a thing Um, the book also reveals the pain suffered by Harry after the death of his mother. He visited a psychic who said that she could talk to Diana beyond the grave and asked to be driven through the Paris tunnel at the same speed she was traveling on the night she died. So that happened a couple of times. There was speculation that she had died 65 miles an hour going through that Paris tunnel and with drunk people and in the car drivers and those paparazzi who was, chasing them and they tried to get out of that. So, yeah. So, copies of the book, which had been subject to tight security to prevent leaks, was released in Spain after being accidentally put on sale before publication by Penguin Random House on Tuesday. A copy was also leaked to the Guardian newspaper, and excerpts were published in the New York Post. Buckingham Palace, which along with Kensington Palace declined to comment, appears determined to weather the storm. An insider, it is exhausting, it is exasperating, but it is not distracting. It will burn itself out. Now, Buckingham Palace do have this, not Buckingham Palace, sorry, royal family have this motto, never complain, never explain. It's like a public relations strategy that's become particularly associated with the British royal family, which it's kind of about not to explain, not to talk about stuff. So the Queen, Camilla, said in a 2017 interview that she was told as a child, never complain and never explain, just get on with it. And that is kind of what they were trying to do with this. Never complain, never explain, this whole thing. Other revelations include the claim that Charles did not hug Harry when telling him about the death of Diana. That was because, Harry stated that he wasn't very good with emotions, especially being, the heir of the throne. He was supposed to man up and be tough, and just, get on with it. Harry also talks about his fears that Camilla would become his wicked stepmother and blames the communications expert hired at his behest for leaking stories about private conversations with William and Camilla to the press. The brothers begged Charles not to marry her, fearing that it would drive the family apart. If you've guys, another thing as well, if you've got any, questions and queries, because I'm quite a big royalist, I must admit. I have got a couple of books on the royal family. If you've got any questions, do hit me up on Discord, Kel Kel, #7570, and I will be gladly answering those for you. So it continues really. Having a look at the Times newspaper, just saying how Meghan was really separated with William and Kate because, they weren't on the bestest of terms. And I can agree, I don't really like Meghan. Personally, I think she's a bit of a controlling person. And that William calling Meghan difficult, rude, and abrasive, honestly, though, he's not wrong. She is difficult, she is rude, and she is abrasive. There is another passage, equally painful in a different way, when Harry discloses an anguished meeting with Charles and William after the funeral of Charles's father, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip. Looking at the brothers' flushed faces, Charles said, "Please, boys, don't make my final years a misery." The book will deeply be uncomfortable read, and Harry's pain is all too real, but does he care about the pain that he inflicts on others? It doesn't seem not, but the unflinching honesty that his publisher promised does not necessarily extend to honesty with himself. In a trailer for his interview, Harry is asked by ITV's Tom Bradby by invading the privacy of those nearest and dearest. He replies that they've been briefing the press, but he also says, I don't know how staying silent is ever going to make things better. It is as if he cannot understand how someone can have first-hand feelings with Meghan and decide that she's trouble. So, there was kind of that feeling that, there's definitely competition there. I mean, William is next in line to the throne. So, that's a big, big thing. So, there was also on the book, how the brothers begged to their father not to marry Camilla. And obviously, after losing your mother to a car accident, it's not going to be the same, is it? So, so the Duke of Sussex said that he and Prince William begged their father not to marry Camilla Parker Bowles for a fear that it would drive the family apart. Harry says, quote, I wasn't happy about losing a second parent, he writes in his memoir. Harry, who describes his early fears that she would become his wicked stepmother, also believes that Camilla, who became the queen after Charles ascended to the throne on the death of his mother, quote, sacrificed Harry on the, quote, altar of public relations. However, in a Spanish translation of Spare, which was accidentally released at bookshops before his publication day next week, Harry also admits that his marriage in 2005 made Charles and his new wife happier. She left Willie and me out of the equation, he says, Harry. We don't understand what was happening to her and my father. He also, when Prince Harry referred to a Pakistani army as a P word, he quote, didn't know it was an insult and thought that it was akin to calling an American a Yankee. He writes in his book Spare. He had, quote, heard lots of people use the term while growing up and said that he had never been considered racist to these people, conceding that he had grown isolated from the real world and wrapped in privileges, which had led him to make the mistake. The prince was widely condemned after footage from a video diary filmed in 2006 emerged in 2009. In it, he referred to the soldier as our little P word friend and said another officer cadet who was wearing the camouflage veil, fuck me, you look like a raghead in the book. You look like a raghead in the book. The prince wrote that he had filmed the video with 3 of the cadets before boarding a plane to Cyprus and said that he was laughing and filming the group while making a comment about each one of them. He wrote, without asterisks, when I got to my comrade and my good friend Ahmed Raza Khan, a Pakistani, I said, a little P word friend. He explained, quote, I did not know that P word was an insult since I was little. I heard lots of people use this word and I hadn't seen anyone frown or be upset. Never had it been considered racist to these people. He said that he apologized to Khan. He said he knew that I wasn't racist and that it was nothing, but added his forgiveness, his natural defense only made him feel worse. There was also one where Harry dressed up as a Nazi soldier and that Prince William and Princess Kate told him to do that. Harry, who was 20 at the time, visited Cotswolds Costumes, a fancy dress rental shop, to choose an outfit for the party, which had themes natives and colonials, in January of 2005. I phoned Willie and Kate, he says, what they thought Nazi uniform, they said, he wrote. And then when he returned home to Highgrove to try on the uniform, they both howled. He said, worse than Willie's leotard outfit. Way more ridiculous, which then again was the point. There's even more to this story, but to be honest with you, I think everybody is just sick and tired of it. So we're going to be ending the special here because, you know, it's just getting to the point where it's just row without, you know, an ending to it. So we can just only hope for the best. And I'm personally on William's side. I'm not a big fan of Harry. Okie dokie, thank you. Bye bye.